Hello everyone and welcome back to Scorpio Tech. In this video we're going to be upgrading the PS5 storage with an M.2 NVMe drive and heatsink that have been kindly provided by PNY. I'm going to make the video as simple and straightforward as I possibly can, so let's get started. By far the biggest concern for this upgrade is the M.2 compatibility. I've linked the official PlayStation compatibility requirements in the description if you are worried about this. For this video I'm using the XLR8 CS3140 1TB NVMe drive which has read speeds of 7500 MB per second and write speeds of 5650 MB per second. This is then being paired with the XLR8 heatsink specifically designed for the PS5. With your M.2 and heatsink at the ready, it's time to take off the PS5 panel on the right side of the console. To remove the cover properly, use one hand to lift the top rear corner like I'm doing here with moderate pressure, and then use your other hand to slide the cover downwards until it clips off. I've seen a lot of people saying you have to use a lot of force on this, but if you're doing it correctly you really don't need to. Underneath the fan we can see the M.2 compartment, so grab yourself a standard Phillips or crosshead screwdriver to open it up. Now depending on which M.2 drive you've gone for, this process may slightly vary. Some will come with a pre-installed heatsink and others will require a little assembly, however it is always straightforward, so if you are worried just check your instructions. If you've already got a compatible M.2 drive with no heatsink, it is highly recommended that you do use one, so I'm going to link a few options down in the description. This kit from PNY is thankfully extremely easy to use. It's just a case of slotting in the M.2 drive first and then placing the heatsink above it after removing the thermal paste cover. Not that you're ever going to see it, but I actually really like the design of this heatsink, and the fact that it's perfectly designed to work within the PS5 definitely gave me some confidence. The M.2 compartment has a standoff and screw ready for you to use with your drive, but mine simply wouldn't budge, so I had to use my own screw and risk it without a standoff, but you can simply use the one provided. Installing the M.2 itself couldn't be any easier, simply match up the slots and apply a little force until it pushes into place. Once done, use the provided standoff and screw to secure it down. There is also no need to overdo the tightness on this, just enough to hold it in place is fine. For the heatsink installation, simply remove the thermal paste sticker and press the clip into position. Yours may look slightly different here depending on which heatsink you went for, but the steps will be very similar regardless. Due to the heatsink being quite large, they provided a screw specifically for tightening it down, so make sure to use that instead of the original PlayStation one. And that nearly brings us to the end of this process. Next up we simply need to reattach the side panel, which again is very easy. Simply match up the pins and slide upwards until you feel a click. Once you plug in and boot up your PS5 again, you'll be given a screen asking you to format your new drive for use with the console. To continue, just press format M.2 SSD. If completed successfully, it should tell you the read speed of your newly installed drive. From here you are able to continue to your device and move and install games to either the console SSD or your own M.2 drive. To do so, simply head over to your settings, then down to storage where you can see the new drive in the list. From here you can move games from one drive to another and so on. I tested this out and was honestly blown away with the transfer speeds I was getting. To transfer a 25GB game from the console storage to the M.2 took just under 20 seconds, which is absolutely amazing. However, transferring games back from the M.2 drive to the console storage took 1 minute 50 seconds, which is over 5 times slower, although it is still very quick for the file size. That means you can expect to transfer a 100GB game in 1 minute 20 seconds from the internal drive to your new M.2 and return the same 100GB game to the installed drive in 7 minutes 20 seconds. But the beauty of these M.2 drives is that they can load games at the exact same speed that the internal SSD can. I noticed absolutely no time differences when loading various games from either of the drives. This means you won't need to move games around to play them in their full glory. And that pretty much wraps up this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, but for everything else including the official PlayStation guide to buying the right SSD, check down in the description. I will also link the M.2 and heatsink that I've used for this video, which I would highly recommend to you based on my experience with both the products. If you'd like to see more console focused content, make sure to let me know down in the comments section. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel for more tech content. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.